Thank you very much. Along with the PIO, I want to welcome all of you. We last met on 5th May when we announced the commencement of the Vande Bharat program. On that occasion also, I had the members of the senior management of the ministry with me. Let me once again, from the extreme right, Shri Rajiv Bansal, Chairman Managing Director of Air India, Shri Arvind Singh, Chairman of the Airports Authority of India, my colleague and Secretary in the Ministry of Civil Aviation, Shri Pradeep Kharola. On my left, Shri Rakesh Asthana, who is the Chief of BCAS, and of course, the PIO. Now, when we announced the Vande Bharat program on 5th May, we met virtually. We met through a VC. And I think the very fact that we are meeting on the 21st in a physical setting, and this is something I'm doing, I think, for the second time the last 2 or 3 days. I attended, addressed a similar press conference. I think this is also a reflection of the fact that we have gained more confidence in terms of normalization of the situation and resumption. Under Vande Bharat mission, as we speak, the numbers of our citizens who were stranded and or in distress outside, those coming back is increasing. The latest figure that I have is that we have brought back more than 20,000 of our citizens from various destinations. We have at the same time utilized the outgoing aircraft to carry our citizens who are normally resident abroad and who needed to travel because they have jobs to do, they have got other professional commitments, and they were caught unawares, as it were, prior to the lockdown. Their numbers are less, not because we don't want to carry them, but because our flights to the United States, they're coming chock-a-block full, but they're also going full. But some of the countries from which we are bringing our citizens back, they are at this point of time not allowing foreign nationals to come back. And therefore, some of the people wanting to travel back, they may have permanent visas, they may have other residence permits, but since they are not on the passports of the countries, and there are 6 countries in the Gulf, Middle East, some countries in East Asia also. But the larger point I want to make is that we started somewhat cautiously. In the week between 6th and 13th May, the intention was to bring back about 12,800 or so. That was roughly the idea. We have stuck to those figures, but for the second week, which seamlessly was dovetailed into the first week, we ramped up the numbers, made it more than double. And even as we speak, I know my colleague, the CMD Air India and Secretary Civil Aviation, they are already talking in terms of ramping up the number of people to be brought back. Substantial increase in the number of flights that the Air India family, Air Indian Express will be undertaking. But equally, we have also taken up our private carriers, and I'm very happy about that. They had expressed a desire to participate in the evacuation efforts, and I think it's a tribute to them also that they've stood by us, and they are going to be joining in that effort, which will also enable us to increase the number of flights and ensure that more and more people who are in distress or are stranded outside can come back. But before I move to some other aspects of what we've been doing, I do want to underline that our effort during this Vande Bharat mission was not to bring back everyone who wants to come back. The clear emphasis is on evacuating those of our citizens who are genuinely stranded and in distress abroad. Because if we look at the overall numbers of Indians, I mean, we're a large country, we have a population 1.35 billion, the number of Indians living abroad, both on Indian passports and other, goes into several million. I think more than 25 million according to one estimate. So the idea is not to bring back everyone, only those who are under stress or, who really need to come back. Equally, those of our citizens who have regular jobs outside, which have opened up, they have professional commitments. So the idea is to concentrate on those. But there also the numbers are large, and we are increasing the number of flights and our overall carrying capacity. And this Vande Bharat mission, touch wood, so far has gone very well. As I said, flights are coming back full. I want to compliment Air India and all the other stakeholders, our airports, our DGCA, everyone has worked, our missions in particular, Ministry of External Affairs. Because, these are very difficult circumstances. Locating people, identifying who should travel, under what criteria under priority. These are not easy decisions to make, but it's been doing very well. First phase has given way seamlessly to the second phase and will be increasing as we go along. Another of our activities which was carried out, I think, with great satisfaction to me and to all the other stakeholders, is that after the suspension of flights on 25th March, one of the major initiatives of the ministry, Mission Lifeline Udan, which has now covered more than 5 lakh kilometers, 500,000 kilometers, and under Lifeline Udan, we have carried a cargo load of around 900 tons to various parts of the country. Now, 1 ton is quite a bit, but 900 tons, and if you see what we've carried, essentially covering COVID-19 related reagents, enzymes, medical equipment, testing kits, PPEs, masks, gloves, medicine, and other accessories, and cargo requisition by state and the governments of the Union Territory. The Lifeline Udan flights have received excellent support from all the stakeholders, the state governments and the other stakeholders. Private scheduled operators have also operated cargo flights on a commercial basis. Similarly, on the request of various agencies, Air India has operated chartered flights to bring 1,444 tons of critical medical supplies from abroad, that is, into India. Air India has also carried about 30 tons of critical medical cargo to foreign countries. Now, the point I want to stress under Lifeline Udan is it represents a very important segment of our activity post the lockdown being declared. Because the lockdown was effective, because it was taken early and in a timely manner, we can today say with a great deal of confidence that we have been able to escape the situation which other countries found themselves in. I mean, for a country of India's size, 1.35 billion people, we are testing what? 100,000 people a day? More than that. And the total number of fatalities is about 3,000 or so. Our recovery rate is doing very well. But when you have a situation like this, what you really need to do is not to look at the total number of cases, but to look at the fatalities. And you have to manage those. Now, the fatalities today, the Indian figure is one of the lowest in the world. It is about 3% or so. And since I'm a member of the group of ministers dealing with this pandemic chaired by my senior colleague, Dr. Harshvardhan, I keep asking the question, Secretary Civil Aviation is also a member. I say, out of these 3% of fatalities, how many of them are cases where the patients had pre-existing medical conditions or comorbidities as it's called, and the figure is sometimes termed to be extremely high, 85% or so. So, all I'm saying is we have to keep our fingers crossed, but just as it was very important, absolutely essential to have a lockdown early and ensure that the pandemic didn't spread, it is, I think, also equally important at some stage that you have to open up. And I think it's in that spirit that all these decisions are being taken. You could argue, if you were to look at it only from a narrow sectarian point of view, that you should continue to be in a continued phase of lockdown for an extended period of time. Well, I'm one of those, and I think most of you will agree, 56 days or 2 months is a fairly long period of time. And that when you come to balance between, as an Honorable Prime Minister keeps reminding us, between life and livelihood, between Jaan and Jahan, I think the time has come for us to open out. Now, we have been in touch with the state governments at different levels, informally, formally, and I can share with you today that after that we announced yesterday's decision, I think I tweeted it around 5 o'clock or so. Secretary and I were part of a consultative process. When we got to know, we tweeted it. We wanted to have this press conference at the earliest so that those of you who might have questions will get an opportunity. It was also necessary for us to put out SOPs, which have all been uploaded on our ministry's website, I'm told. Although I must confess, many of you were running the SOPs well before we had drafted them or finalized them. But that, I suppose, is a function of a robust democracy, where very often my friends in the Fourth Estate tell me how I should be running my job. I'm very happy receiving the advice, but I always keep saying, I have, some of you are here, I don't want to embarrass you. They send me a message, is this correct? So I said, I can't comment whether this is correct or not correct, because we haven't taken a decision. Now, if it's a very difficult situation. If I say it's not correct, then, it has an implication. If I say it's correct, tomorrow we may come to that conclusion, but we are not ready to announce it. Today we've announced the SOPs. Again, a very comprehensive process which involved our airport operators, Chairman Airports Authority, through him the other major airports, and our air carriers, our airlines. And I know I'm in it's a difficult terrain to navigate, but I can tell you all the stakeholders, whether it's the airlines, the airport authority, as an organization, airport operator, the security segments of the civil aviation, Rakesh and his team, or, other stakeholders. Some of them don't come in front. Everybody has cooperated, and I think the decision we've taken finally is that starting Monday the 25th, we will recommence domestic civil aviation operations in a calibrated manner. As I said, many of you said, what does calibrated mean and what is the percentage? Some put a figure at 30, some at 35. This is part of the game. But let me try and now put some precision to that. And as I said, the domestic civil aviation operations will be permitted with effect from 25th May to a limited extent of the required and approved capacity of the summer schedule 2020, as I'm going to list out. For operations from metro to metro cities, 1/3 capacity of the approved summer schedule 2020. So approved 1/3 would be more, 33.333%. So most of you had your range correct. Those who said 30% hoga ya 35% hoga. And I kept saying, well, I can point you in the direction. Exact percentage we'll have to wait for the announcement. For operations from metro to non-metro cities and vice versa, where the weekly departures are greater than 100, 1/3 of the capacity of the approved summer schedule 2020. For operations from metro to non-metro cities and vice versa, where the weekly departures are less than 100, airlines are free to operate any routes of the 1/3 capacity of the approved summer schedule 2020. For all other cities, airlines are free to operate any routes of the 1/3 capacity of the approved summer schedule 2020. When I use the word metro cities, this means Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Chennai, Hyderabad, and Kolkata. This order, which is being issued today, and the airline's operations will commence on Monday the 25th. This shall remain in force till 23:59 hours, Indian Standard Time, on 24th August 2020. So this is... I will give you all that. I'll give you all that. Let me finish. I'll take questions also. हिंदी में भी बता दूंगा ये जो ऑर्डर है. I'll come back to all that, including in Hindi.
Please wait. Everything will be explained to you.
And everything is being uploaded on our website, so there will be no doubt. मैं आपको ये भी जानकारी देना चाहता हूं कि एयरपोर्ट अथॉरिटी ने डिटेल्ड गाइडलाइंस और एसओपीज जो है और जो सिक्योरिटी मेजर्स हैं जरूरी, उनके जो प्रोटोकॉल्स बनाए गए हैं, जहां पे हमारे नागरिक रहते हैं वहां से जाके हवाई अड्डे तक, हवाई अड्डे के अंदर, हवाई जहाज के अंदर, और जहां पे पोर्ट ऑफ डिसएम्बार्केशन है वहां से हवाई अड्डे से डेस्टिनेशन. नाउ आई जस्ट वांट टू गिव यू अ फ्लेवर, देन वील टेक द डिटेल्स क्वेश्चन. जैसे मैंने आपसे पहले कहा कि जो डेट ऑफ कमेंसमेंट है सोमवार 25 मई को, 1/3 ऑपरेशंस जारी किए जाएंगे. हवाई अड्डे पे देयर विल बी नो फिजिकल चेक इन, ओनली ए वेब चेक इन विल बी अलाउड. ए सेल्फ डिक्लेरेशन और आरोग्य सेतु ऐप स्टेटस on a compatible device would also be obtained that the passenger is free of COVID-19 symptoms. Passengers जिनका red status हो इस ऐप पे, they will not be allowed to travel. Passengers will be required to wear protective gear, face mask, and to carry sanitizer bottles. Airlines shall not provide meal services on board. Water bottles will be made available in the gallery area or on the seats. The cabin crew will be required to be in full protective gear, full protective suit. Only one check-in bag will be allowed. Passengers should report at least 2 hours before the departure time. On arrival at the destination, the traveling passengers will have to adhere to such health protocols as are prescribed by the destination state or union territories, and fares will be regulated and should be within a fixed range. जैसे मैंने कहा, ये इसकी शुरुआत डोमेस्टिक सिविल एविएशन की 25 मई से होगी, और जैसे हम एक्सपीरियंस गेन करेंगे, द नंबर ऑफ फ्लाइट्स will sought to be increased. और मुझे मालूम है कि आप में से कई हमारे मित्र हैं जो ये प्रश्न पूछना चाहेंगे. मैं आपके प्रश्न पूछने से पहले ही आपको बता देता हूं. अगर सवाल होगा कि अंतर्राष्ट्रीय इंटरनेशनल ट्रैवल का क्या होगा, जब हमें डोमेस्टिक ट्रैवल में, जैसे मैंने कहा, वी स्टार्टेड विद वंदे भारत, एंड आई केप्ट सेइंग, देखिए हम कुछ लोगों को लाएंगे, 1 लाख 1.5 लाख टोटल वंदे भारत, पर डोमेस्टिक ट्रैवल जो है तभी चालू किया जा सकेगा जब हमारी बाकी मीन्स ऑफ ट्रांसपोर्टेशन है रेलवेज. एंड एज यू नो, द रेलवेज कैरी अ मच लार्जर नंबर ऑफ पैसेंजर्स. रेलवेज, अब मैं आपको अपना ही मंत्रालय का उदाहरण दे दूं. एज मिनिस्टर ऑफ हाउसिंग एंड अर्बन अफेयर्स, आई एम रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दिल्ली मेट्रो. नाउ दिल्ली मेट्रो एट इट्स पीक कैरीज 65 लाख or 6.5 million passengers in a day. You see the load there. If you look at the railways load, much higher. So we gained some experience through Vande Bharat. Now we are increasing that. Now we are starting domestic civil aviation, initially 1/3. और जो हमारा वहां पे अनुभव होगा, based on our, we might need to tweak procedures, then we will go into international travel. एक हमारा declaration form है, that will also be available on our website. It's a very basic declaration form. But I want to now share with you the contours or the outline of the new fare structure. किसी का फोन बज रहा है. Anyway, जो हमारे routes हैं, we have divided them into 7 sections. In section 1 are those routes where the flight duration is less than 40 minutes. In the second section are those routes which would qualify in the next segment of more than 40 minutes, but up to 60 minutes. तीसरे सेगमेंट में जो 60 मिनट से लेके 90 मिनट तक, चौथे में 90 मिनट से लेके 120 मिनट तक, मतलब जहां पे फ्लाइट ड्यूरेशन 1.5 घंटे से 2 घंटे की होगी. इन द फिफ्थ वन फ्रॉम 2 hours to 2.5 hours, 120 से 150 मिनट तक. छठे सेक्शन में 150 मिनट से लेके जैसे 2.5 घंटे से लेके 3 घंटे तक, 150 to 180. एंड इन द फाइनल सेक्शन 180 minutes to 210 minutes. That is 3 hours to 3.5 hours. And I think all the routes within the country, no matter which point you start from and whichever the point of destination is, they come within these 6. Now, under the pre-COVID system, what happened is that airlines, and I've got everybody here, but maybe Arun's not here, no? Arun here. Okay, good. I mean, look, पहले सिस्टम ये था कि एयर कैरियर अपनी वेबसाइट पर अपना रेंज जो है, आके बैठ जाओ, आई थिंक इट शुड बी, जो रेंज है, अरुण इज आवर डायरेक्टर जनरल सिविल एविएशन, प्लीज वेलकम. सो अपना जो फेयर स्ट्रक्चर है उसको वो अपनी वेबसाइट पे डाल देते थे. मान लीजिए मुंबई से, दिल्ली से मुंबई फेयर हो, मिनिमम कितना होगा और मैक्सिमम कितना होगा. एंड देन दे यूज्ड टू फॉलो ए स्कीम वेयर बाय अगर आप 60 दिन पहले बुकिंग करें, मान लीजिए एपेक्स फेयर लें, तो आपको सस्ते बकेट में, अगर सस्ता बकेट एक बार एग्जॉस्ट हो गया तो डिपेंडिंग ऑन कितनी डिमांड है बिफोर द फ्लाइट और कितनी सीट्स बाकी हैं, इट वुड गो इनटू अ मार्केट डिटरमिन्ड टिकटिंग. देखिए, इन द नॉर्मल सिचुएशन पहले भी उसकी कंप्लेंट्स आती थी, पर हम लोग इंटरफेयर नहीं करते थे. हमने कहा दिस इज अ मार्केट, फोर्सेज आर ऑपरेटिंग हियर. पर उसमें होता क्या था, कुछ सीटें जो है बहुत महंगी बिकती थी अगर उनकी वेबसाइट के अंदर, बहुत महंगी, और कुछ जो है बहुत सस्ती बिकती थी. So I've got extreme examples. As long as it was within that, if you don't prescribe a minimum, sometimes we found that the fare being charged on the Delhi-Mumbai, I'm only mentioning that as an example, as an illustrative example. And they have been sold for as little as what, 1,100 rupees, Delhi-Mumbai, as a promotional fare or whatever. Or kuch other extreme. So what we have decided is, we have studied this, we have looked at corresponding rail fares. और देखिए, हमारा अंडरलाइन ऑब्जेक्टिव इन चीजों में यह है शुरू से, दैट एयर ट्रैवल शुड बिकम अफोर्डेबल. इट शुड बी विद इन द मीन्स ऑफ ऑल आवर सिटीजन्स टू बी ट्रैवल इंक्रीजिंगली बाय एयर. वी आर टुडे ऑलरेडी, वी वर प्रायर टू द कोविड क्राइसिस और पैंडेमिक, वी वर ऑलरेडी आई थिंक द वर्ल्ड्स 3rd लार्जेस्ट डोमेस्टिक सिविल एविएशन मार्केट. और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है दैट आफ्टर दिस क्राइसिस इज ओवर, we will get the sector back into robust growth and we will be the world's 3rd largest domestic, 3rd largest market per se, and our ambition is to take it to gradually to number 1 position. What were the fares? Over the years, fares have been, either through competitive, where you have a large number of competing entities, some of them are low-cost carriers and therefore they're competing. But I think we have set a very realistic figure both in terms of the lower and this thing, because affordability is one criteria. Equally, We are conscious of the fact that airlines operate on thin margins, that their business models are based on high capital costs, and they have high costs because of aviation turbine fuel. We are trying to deal with all those things. So what we've done is to set a minimum fare and a maximum fare. In the case of Delhi-Mumbai, the minimum fare would be 3,500 rupees for a journey which is between 90 minutes and 120 minutes, and the maximum fare would be 10,000 rupees. This is operative for 3 months, that is till 1 minute to midnight on 24th August. Jaise maine kaha, this whole scheme is but within the band also, and this will apply to all fares, but this will be the formula used, we have some other, how would I put it, qualifiers. अब ऐसे है कि अब मैं आपके साथ शेयर कर सकता हूं, मान लीजिए हम कहते हैं कि मैक्सिमम फेयर नहीं होना चाहिए 10-12 हजार से ऊपर. अगर सिर्फ हम वो स्टिपुलेट करते, देन देयर इज ऑल पॉसिबिलिटी, अगर बहुत डिमांड आएगी तो सिर्फ 10-12 हजार ही फेयर रहेगा. बिकॉज अगर मैक्सिमम का सीलिंग का मतलब ये अगर आप प्रिस्क्राइब नहीं करें, अगर मिनिमम नहीं हो, देन इट इज पॉसिबल दैट ओनली 10-12,000 दैट वुड हैव मेंट गोइंग अबव दियर. So I will request Secretary Civil Aviation to explain how we propose to operationalize this and any other points that he wishes to make, because after all, he has been sitting long hours with the airport authority, with the security people, with the tour operators, and we are going to talk to our tour operators again, also with the airlines. So I now hand the floor over to him. He will provide some explanation, and after that, we'll probably take questions.
Thank you, sir. I'll just explain how the fare structure has been done. As just now Honorable Minister said that the lower band and upper band has been fixed, and we have categorized all the routes into 7 different categories: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and each is on an increment of 30 minutes of flying time. So for an example, if we take Delhi-Mumbai, now this is the densest route we have in the country, and Delhi-Mumbai happens to be the densest route, maybe perhaps in the world also. Now, in this, the lowest fare which has been prescribed is 3,500, and the upper limit is fixed at 10,000 rupees. Now, how it works is, airlines have a system of RBDs, which we also called buckets. So, this fare band is split into different buckets, and then the airlines allot seats in different buckets. Now, if we just say lower is 3.5 and upper is 10,000, it may create a problem that they may sell the entire thing at the highest fare also. So we are putting a second rider. The second rider is, and that's the most important part of it, that 40% of the seats have to be sold at a fare less than the midpoint of the band. I'll repeat. 40%, मतलब जितनी भी सीटें हैं उसका 40% अगर हम अपर बैंड और लोअर बैंड का मिड पॉइंट लें, उदाहरण के लिए 3,500 और 10,000, इसका मिड पॉइंट बनता है लगभग 6,700. तो हम बोल रहे हैं कि 40% जितनी भी सीटें हैं उनको 6,700 से कम में बेचनी है. Now this is how we are ensuring that the fares don't go out of control also. At the same time, we are ensuring that the fares are reasonable for the airlines also. So it was a very difficult situation reconciling the two very difficult options. So with this formulation, and this is a temporary formulation only during the period when there is scarcity. Now scarcity in the sense that, as was just mentioned by Honorable Minister, we are starting with only 1/3 capacity. With 1/3 capacity, and there is huge amount of pent-up demand for the last 2 months. So the fares had to be regulated, and this is the mechanism we have brought, and we have divided all the routes into this ABCD category, and all this information will be shared by DGCA with all the airlines. So the airlines will do their reservation programming according to these figures. And let me clarify, these figures are excluding that PSF. PSF is a small amount of 130 rupees. Then we have the UDF. UDF also is very small at the airports. And of course the GST. GST comes to about 5%. So this is the fare structure which the airlines will have to follow.
Thank you very much. I know that there was a lot of interest in fares. I was also very interested. Many of you had already started talking about fare fixation, as it were. Look, this is not fare fixation in the commonly understood thing. We are dealing with an extraordinary situation where, let me tell you, on the Bombay-Delhi sector, we used to have 100 flights a day. I'm going by example, for instance. Now you don't have 100 flights, you're going to have only 30 flights or 33 flights. Now if you have that kind of a demand and you don't fix something, it is entirely conceivable. I'm not saying it would have happened. It's entirely conceivable that fares would have skyrocketed and remained very high. Therefore, we are trying to meet the situation. I am confident that based on our experience, based on the airline's experience, based on consumer feedback, once we exit from this 3-month period, we can either return to status quo ante, which is a situation prevailing prior to COVID, or, we can have a market-based system which is equitable. But in a situation like this, where there is less, 1/3 of the thing, and it will open up only slowly depending on how, the other infrastructure in the country.